So good night of Shabbos once again, Parsha Shemini. So the word is Azoi. So we're processing this week Tzimtzum. We're talking about Tzimtzum. There was a question asked, the process of Tzimtzum was explained. Now, there's also other levels of Tzimtzum, because as it plays out on every level. So on every level it looks different. What's a Lego over here is something else over there, like as it goes, because the Lego itself is also a product of Tzimtzum, one Tzimtzum after the other. First it was a liquid form or whatever, and then it was put into this. So there's difference. So it took shape into a final product, which is something that's tangible, something that has a hard crust. But this is as far as I can go with the mashal with the Lego, but really there's a higher purpose there. There's something that's behind the crust. It's behind the final product, because what appears to be the final product is not the final product. That's just a way to get to the final product. The problem is that we got stuck thinking that that's the final product, like somebody, we were talking about it yesterday, right? I think it was put on the recording. That if the pain is so big, what's the whole spiel? If everything is just the chab, that enem levada, that everything is oneness, then why so much pain? Like really this much pain for this? The answer is that it's not so painful. That's also an illusion. It's part of the ego, taking things out of proportion, like everything else is taken out of proportion. So we're going into Tzimtzum, one Tzimtzum to another. So basically, the Tachlis HaKavana, the end result is that we're supposed to be in a place of full conscience. I'm aware of who I am. I'm present where I am. I remember my pain. I remember that, because that is part of what's my loisa. So that's the chayk. That's the mishpat. It's there to give me a form, to give me a shape, to be able to hold my fire, to be able to hold that neravai nishmas adam, this connection that's being connected in physical go from the end product. The end product is a receiver, so it receives a connection. The connection is, as we spoke about yesterday, moich shalat alalev. The moich is dominating over the heart. That's my chachma bina. So the word is that we're going to get to. This is from Rebbe Rashab. So we're going to get to a place where the nakuda tachas hayisoid is going to be panim b'malchus, which means that this little tiny dot, the little aleph, that tiny little thing, the nakuda tachas hayisoid means that I am so suppressed and repressed. I am so bent out of shape that really my whole mind is taken up about stuff that really can be resolved just by thinking positive, looking at it positively, and it's going to go away. So I'm so in chomer, I'm so in physical that I can't. I'm down, stripped down to nothing, and that's exactly when we can communicate with Chachma. That's exactly when you're that little nukuda. When in order to take your hand out of the sleeve, as when you're sitting in the car, you want to remove your sweater, that thing, you're trying to pull your hand out another inch, another millimeter, and then it's out. That is the squeeze. The nekuda tachas I said, which is my essence, my being, my existence right now. It's tough, or whatever years they're going through, or if you want to step into, to the positive. So from that place, that's where we step in, and that's going to be where Kesser is panim with malchus. You know what that is? That when I know, when I'm in my squeeze and I'm surrendered to my squeeze, and I'm like, okay, what's going on over here? That's not me, or whatever way you're becoming aware of it. So there is another tzimtzum. These are massive tzimtzumim, because as tzimtzum is happening all the way up to the top, tzimtzum rish and sheni, the big, the toyu and all that, the Abash Shalom Medai, land, all that. When it lands here, it has to take place somewhere. It shows up. It's a ripple effect. Throwing a pebble into the water and it goes. So we are the ripple effect, we're the final effect. The final effect. But also that's the goal. That's the whole thing, that when we hit bottom, the final effect, we're here to catch, because we have something else going on within us too. In our genes, we have something called Yitzchak Avinu, Avram Avinu. Yitzchak Avinu was rigid, he was Gevurus all the way back. So in the squeeze, that's where we find that we can back into the laughter. We did this process a few times, but we can, if anybody has a question, we can explain it. So that is the ripple effect of the Tzimtzumim. When it lands here in Welt, it looks like your life, your squeeze, your problem. Just stop taking yourself so serious. You don't really matter that much. No, it's not that, this, that. Just forgive yourself, take a deep breath and just go. Try it. Whatever that means in your life, whatever that means. Stop eating, start eating, start smoking, stop smoking. Whatever it is in your life, is to keep moving. And that is the Efer Parah once again. This is what the Efer Parah gives to us. It gives us the awareness. It gives us the awareness of, it takes away the seriousness, the rigidness, the physical chomer of the inyan. It sprinkles. It's like coffee that you put water on, a little bit of water. It just melts it away. That's what we're dealing with over here, with this consciousness, with these feeding the brain, these oisias, these letters, feeding the brain Ukraine, or feeding the brain this. Keep feeding. The das is activated, and this is the Efer Parah, which is Torah's Chassidus, which is iskashrus to tzaddikim, Chassidus Yisroel, whatever it is that we're holding on to. It can be iskashrus to my Shabbos table. It can be iskashrus to my Shabbos table. To what you stand for, what the time is, where I'm at, present. We're making a meal. We're celebrating something. It's a real thing. Everybody gets dressed. We shower. We light candles. It's a full-on ceremony. It's and everybody's involved. The feminine, the masculine, the wife, the husband, the kids, the father, the mother. We go to the mikveh. Wine. So getting connected to that is the Efer Parah. That gives me that, feeling it in my stomach, top of the stomach, solar plexus area. Feeling that oinig is my experience. I can now experience my experience on a much deeper level. It's not just a physical experience. That table that I'm sitting at, the whole preparation is a feeling. I'm experiencing something in chomer, in mata. It looks like this. But then what's behind the Lego? What's when the Lego, before the Lego became all, stuck in his way? Before he became, faglivert, he got stopped in his tracks, and this is it. So go there. That's the Efer Parah. That's the Efer Parah that gives us that, takes away the chomer, melts away the chomer. So, yes, it's a powerful Shabbos, it's a strong Shabbos, and I think the way to do this is by getting more mindful. At least try to do one thing mindful, like literally mindful. One second. There was such happiness out there that I had to, was becoming a little loud. So, becoming mindful with one thing. Become mindful with one thing. Become mindful when you're bringing the challah to the table. Become mindful when you're bringing the challah to the table. Mindfulness, like feel it in your head, like I'm in the das, iskashrus. I'm preparing a table. I'm stepping into something. Mindful when eating. Mindful of the conversation, but try to keep it. And even if it could be any conversation. The kids want to talk their conversation. It's totally fine, and it is what it is. So be mindful with that. I guess I can work on that too. Just being mindful. So In other words, mindfulness that there's nothing wrong. It is what it is. That's the conversation. We're still sitting by the table. We're still mindful. And then it raises. So, yeah, this is all ways to just breaking it down so we can understand it and to understand what's going on and tap into the koyach of Shabbos Parshas Torah. Next week it's also Shabbos Mavarchim. Remember, as we're cleansing, we're going to bench the new Chodesh, which is Rosh Chodesh, Chad Shechidushim. That's Rosh Chodesh is when the rocks, like there's always flintstones, right? So you hit the two flintstones together, there's a small spark, a bigger. Then there is every day there's flintstones, big ones, small ones, the head of the day, during davening. But the flintstones of Rosh Chodesh are these powerful two white rocks. That is the Rosh Chodesh. It sparks up a fire that we dealt with Rosh Hashanah. We build that fire. So now you have these two massive rocks that they're hitting. And it's also, Kamedu, Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh Nisan is also, some say the world was created, Bri Yisraelim was in Nisan. So, regardless of what it is, when somebody says something, when we're dealing with these powerful enlightened consciousness, Tanum Amarum, when they say something, it means that's what it is. There's another door. There's another door. They opened another door. Creator wanted another day, another month with this power, this koach. Okay. Have an awesome Shabbos and a good gebenched Shabbos and Varchim.